Welcome. Great to have you with us today. And I just want to thank everybody that's been watching Webb Weekly Live. It's quite humbling how many people are watching our show, and we're going to continue to try to bring you great guests and great content. And I have Steph Nordstrom, my editor. Good morning. And my right-hand person, and you've been keeping me out of trouble, doing a great job.
I try.
And I just wanted to tell you the Pokemon Go segment. I have heard more about that. That was a great job downtown.
Thank you.
And
it was a lot of fun to do.
People are having fun downtown.
They are.
So anyway, we're going to begin with our weekly web roundup.
Yep.
It's your segment, and you do a great job and usually give something away. So
well, we're gonna keep it all sort of sports related this week. So it's right up your alley. We actually have a great story coming up by Lou Hunsinger about two Mentoursville native sisters who currently live in Santa Monica, but they both have scoliosis. And they've both been running Ironman triathlons. So they've been overcoming a lot in order to do this, and it's a great story that Lou's got. So make sure you look for that one. Excellent. And then I have to mention this one because it made me giggle through the entire article, and I don't giggle. So Scott Lowry...
You never laugh at my jokes.
Scott Lowry had a case of writer's block this week. Okay. And so he was trying to figure out something to write about, and he came across this book called A Talk in the Park. And it's stories from, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this right, Harry Callis.
Harry Callis, yeah, longtime Philly play-by-play man.
Richie Ashburn.
Yeah. And he was his color guy.
Yeah, he's got several excerpts from this book and stories that they've told from the booth and from life. So it's a really great story. So
sounds good. And I grew up with Harry Callis. So and back then you didn't have 20 games on TV, and a lot of times you listen on the radio and got baseball, the game of the week.
It's funny you should mention that because that's what a lot of Scott's story is about, and the connection that people made with the announcers.
Excellent. So, excellent.
And you're right, it wouldn't be Webb Weekly Live if we don't give something away. So we've got some gift cards to the Sticky Elbow, and you know that I love the Sticky Elbow. It's
one of your favorite places, and
probably my favorite restaurant in town. I like that every time you go in there, it's something different. Their menu changes up. Their drink options are incredible. Jason Matty does a fantastic job there.
Jason does do a great job, and he has a great culinary skill in coming up with different flavors and different things out of the ordinary. Absolutely. And he also has game dishes on there, which I enjoy, venison and different things, elk, every once in a while. So that's a great choice. Yeah.
So we've got a trivia question, and once again we have the 2 pages going. Okay. So we're here and the police. So I've got my trivia question. Answer below. First person to answer below. Each winner gets a $100 gift card to the Sticky Elbow.
Oh wow, another $100. Well, you like that $100?
I do. It's a good amount.
All right.
And I actually asked you this question earlier, and you didn't know the answer to this trivia question
either.
I
did not. So. She's got me 2 weeks in a row.
So, what is the world's oldest sport that uses a ball? One more time. What is the world's oldest sport that uses a ball? Answer below. Here, police page, $100 gift card to the Sticky Elbow for the winner of each one.
Excellent. And it's not baseball.
It's not baseball.
So, what do you think about where we're proceeding with Webb Weekly Live? Are you happy with the progress?
Absolutely. This has been amazing. You know, you always wonder when you're starting something new, are people going to be interested? Are they going to want to watch? And I have been overwhelmed with the number of people who are watching the program every week. So,
and I've left it to you and our staff, and you've done a fantastic job, and I thank you. Because obviously I'm not a high-tech guy, and it amazes me how many new people we've picked up now, either reading the Webb Weekly online or watching our show that might have not read the Webb Weekly. I mean, might not, but now we have. I'm glad you've included a lot of younger. Like Pokemon Go and the different things to engage younger folks. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's given us an opportunity to get out in the community and talk to people and the interview with the police chief and with the mayor and what we have coming up later in the show. Yep. It's been great, and it gives other people the opportunity to be a part and feel like they're a part of our Webb Weekly family.
And Steph gave me a great lead into what's going on here. We are going to actually leave Webb Weekly studio here. We're going to head over to the Lycoming County's Executive Plaza. We're going to interview the county commissioners, and we're going to take some time to ask them questions. I think we even have a couple questions.
Yeah, we have a couple from our Webb Weekly viewers.
And it should be good and interesting and engaging. So we'll take a little commercial break, and we're going to come back across the river. Thank you.
Buy any new Mazda at the dealer invoice price and still receive our free Life home in the #1 ranked compact crossover, the 2016 Mazda CX-5, priced as low as $25,100 at 0.9% for 63 months. From our family to your family, your friend, your dealer, Murray Mazda.
Hi, I'm here at Executive Plaza with our Lycoming County Commissioners. I have our chairman, Jack McKernan. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning.
And I have Rick Marabito.
Good morning.
Who is officially the secretary.
Correct.
Correct. And Tony Macera, unfortunately, he's the vice chairman.
Yes, sir.
He cannot be here. He had some county business come up, and we always want our county people taking care of business, right?
Yes. Yeah. We want to give everybody their money's worth.
And hopefully he may even be able to join us in a little bit.
Okay. And that would be great. I wanted to come out here today. There's so much out in the news, out in the media, about what goes on at the county level. And you only ever hear the negative. You don't hear of all the positive, and I'm sure you're learning that, Commissioner McKernan, because you're new to the job. Rick, you've been down this path before. But one of the main reasons I came out here today is the first question I want to ask you, and I want everybody to understand, is what is the responsibility of the Lycoming County Commissioners? What is, when they go vote for you, what are they voting for?
I believe our primary duty is on the fiscal side, to make sure that the spending and that we are spending our dollars in the right area, giving the citizens the best bang for their buck. But we also do have legislative piece as well, that we can enact ordinances where necessary and deal with the zoning issues and those kind of things.
Maybe the easiest way for people to understand it is they know that there's always three parts to government. There's the courts, there's the executive branch, and there's the legislative branch. We have our courts, which is the county court system,
right.
And they actually are an independently elected set of officials. And then, as the commissioner said, we are both the legislative branch and the executive branch. 90% of our time, or 95% of our time, is spent on the executive branch, meaning that we spend the tax revenue that we bring in. And basically,
which is always near and dear to everybody's heart.
Right. Oh, believe me, none of us wants to have to spend it. But the reality is that we have to pay for the courts, we have to pay for the sheriff, we have to pay for the prison, we have to pay for the emergency response system. When you call 911, that's all run by the county, 24/7, and just a lot of other functions.
People don't understand the depth of county government. And the one thing I want to get out there is, as far as your daily life and living in Williamsport and living in Lycoming County, living in Muncie, wherever, county government and you folks have a greater effect on our daily life than any other elected official we vote for.
Yes, and until I actually got into this job, I guess took that for granted, like a lot of people.
And honestly, I did until I got older and started looking around and getting on you, Commissioner. So
no, you just don't realize that.
You don't realize, and I want everybody out there that's watching understand how important those votes are when it's time to vote for county commissioners. As far as daily life, Mr. Marabito, they have the most effect.
Absolutely. I spent 6 years in the legislature, and what we do there in Harrisburg has an effect on people's lives also, obviously, but on a day-to-day basis, the decisions that we make are very much decisions that affect people's daily lives. And so, for example, one of the issues that's consuming us is the drug problem, the heroin opioid epidemic.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that we constantly are talking about, and it's a collaborative effort here, there are three of us, and we're all three equal partners in this venture, and we try to find a way to make decisions in the public forum.
Sure.
But we obviously discuss ideas among each other, and one of the issues that we discuss a lot is the drug problem. What do we do with the situation? Because it affects our our adult probation. It affects our quality of life.
Our prison, I mean, most of the people coming into our prison, probably 50% of them now, have some sort of addiction.
And it's Lycoming County Prison, and every taxpayer's paying, and you're trying to figure out. I've sat in meetings how to manage the money to afford the drug addiction problem in our area right now, and don't want to get into all that. That's another show. We're going to come back and do another show, but maybe right now is a good time for a commercial break for our good friends down at Murray Motors.
Buy any new Mazda at the dealer invoice price and still receive our free lifetime engine and transmission warranty. That's right. All our new Mazdas are priced at dealer invoice, and some may qualify for additional rebates. Drive home in the #1 ranked compact crossover, the 2016 Mazda CX-5, priced as low as $25,100 at 0.9% for 63 months. From our family to your family, your friend, your dealer, Murray Mazda.
Hey, we're back, and we sort of left on heroin, and I don't want to spend a lot of time today, but one thing I do want to talk about, we had Chief David Young on last week. We had Project Bald Eagle on the week before, and the drug problem in our area is going to take a team effort, county level, state level, everybody working together. How has the cooperation been?
Cooperation with the municipalities?
Absolutely, because obviously the
great.
county's...
I mean, fabulous.
Fabulous.
I think everybody realizes that there is a major problem. And it's not just Lycoming County. It's not Williamsport. I mean, it's the state of Pennsylvania. It's the United States of America.
And Commissioner Maravito, you've been at state level. How do you see things working here? I know what my feeling is, and I'll get to that. But
no, I think that the three of us are absolutely committed to trying to work with all the municipalities, and also, frankly, trying to get the municipalities, which they do, to work together. You know, the word that we never like to really talk about, but which we need to, is the whole idea of regionalization and performing more tasks in a more efficient way, whether it's our school districts or whether it's our municipal governments. But I'm encouraged to say a lot of that is taking place. But on a day-to-day basis, in terms of the workings, the county tax dollars primarily fund the sheriff's department.
Right.
But we obviously work with the municipalities, especially the city, in terms of trying to help them if we can anyway.
And what I see as I travel, and I travel a lot, is we seem to be out ahead of where the nation is in a lot of towns our size, that we are being more proactive, and we are cooperating from the state level down to the county level to the municipality level. And is that sort of, I mean, you guys have been around, are you happy with the cooperation?
Sure. I mean, look, this drug problem that's been cast upon us, I think we have to recognize it's going to be with us for probably 15 years. And I'm sure some people watching this are thinking, oh my gosh. But when you think about how long it takes people, and the fact that we have probably 3,000 heroin addicts in Lycoming County. That's the number that I've heard.
Anyhow, Beth had said at the meeting the other day with Senator Casey that there are signs that the educational piece is starting to sink home, and so that's encouraging. And I think if one thing, the Project Bald Eagle has helped get the community leadership together to face the problem and to start to work through ideas and come up with ways to help us manage the problem in our area.
Okay. Well, let's take another quick commercial break. Our good friends at Murray Motors, we'll be right back with you.
Buy any new Mazda at the dealer invoice price and still receive our free lifetime engine and transmission warranty. That's right. All our new Mazdas are priced at dealer invoice, and some may qualify for additional rebates. Drive home in the #1 ranked compact crossover, the 2016 Mazda CX-5, priced as low as $25,100 at 0.9% for 63 months. From our family to your family, your friend, your dealer, Murray Mazda.
Hey, we're back, and Commissioner Masser, you got that county business taken care of, and you're here, and
yeah, I apologize
good to see
for
you.
being a little late.
That's all right. We hit heroin. We talked more than I really wanted to about it. I want to come back and do another show with you folks, more about county safety and how the part you play. But we'll get right into it. Everybody wants to know about the budget and tax increase. Problem in it. Exactly. That's the right answer.
Okay.
And I had a couple people, I asked for questions, and a good friend of mine, Steve, said, ask him if there's going to be a tax increase. And I hate to put you on the spot.
Well, we're very early. I think if it wasn't this past Monday, it was the prior Monday. It was the beginning of the budget season. All the department heads are putting their numbers in. I think we the commissioners really won't get into it until about September when we start having budget hearings. I think we're pretty optimistic, although we know it's going to be tough.
Exactly.
We're optimistic for 2017, but we're definitely thinking out to 2018. You know, whatever we do this coming year will have an effect on future years.
And obviously, that's the most asked question in my travels and we could loop back around to where we just ended with heroin and the burden that's putting on the tax coffers in Lycoming County. But the next thing, commonly asked, and I've been over Billy Casper White Deer Golf Course. Seems to be going pretty good. I know that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah. I'd like to back up just 1 second, though, please.
Okay.
Is that we have to understand what the county provides our citizens. And if you look at the average home, okay, assessed value home is just under $100,000. Okay, so when you take a look at 5.75 mils, that's $575. Now, make no mistake, for our senior citizens that are on a very fixed income, very difficult because you're combining all three tax structures. But when you look at $575 on a $100,000 home, and we have to provide courts, now we're dealing with the heroin issue. Okay, we sheriff's department, DA, public defender, prothonotary, all your row officers. We provide a tremendous amount of services for that $575. The prison. It's just mind-boggling of what we do with that money. Now, when we're talking about the golf course, it's only been 3 months since Billy Casper came in. I'm very impressed. We had a Hope tournament that was done there. It went flawlessly. Excellent. It was the best service and we just keep getting those comments. Now, like we said, we had $1 million in infrastructure needs that we needed, to commit to. So there was only one pump on that entire course that was working. That pump is being fixed. So our fairways are a little hard right now because they haven't been getting the water. The greens are playing well, and now everybody's hitting the ball 300, 350 yards.
I would like that. Yeah, that should make them happy.
So, and some of you watching may not play golf, and you may think, well, why is the county putting money into the golf course? Well, the reality is that not all of us does everything.
Sure.
But many people do different things. And part of a quality of life in a community is being able to offer a diverse group of activities, not only for the adults, but even more importantly for the children. Because if we get young people interested in things at an early age and they develop a passion about doing it, they're not going to be out developing a passion about doing drugs.
Absolutely.
So in some ways, I think we have to look at the quality of life as a question of how do we create programs and things for people to do that are antidotes so that people are invested in life and in living. And having said that, the three of us have tried to craft a path on the golf course where we make it self-sustaining, we make it based on its own revenue, and be able to provide a quality of life, and at the same time keeping a watchful eye. The three of us have been very careful about keeping a watchful eye on what's going on. And it looks as though we may be able to achieve that.
Absolutely, and I think key point, 3 months is all they've been managing it, and where we're at, and most folks know, is it's been a money pit.
Yeah,
okay, and what the county commissioners are trying to do is they brought in a management agency to try to control the cost of the course, make improvements, manage $1 million bond and put the county taxpayers in a better place where they're not funding the golf course. Is that pretty much
Couldn't put it any better myself, Jim.
Okay.
And by the way, we haven't spent the entire $1 million. We've spent probably about just 275,000. So we're not just out running to do the improvements unless we also see that there's a coincidental return. Yeah, that there's a return on it.
Absolutely, and I think that's another way. We're going to get together about that at a later date and talk about it, because I would like to know, and I think the voters, the citizens would like. Hopefully, you come back and say, "Man, it's been the most successful year we've had in a long time."
Yeah, hopefully we
right,
can
Jack?
share the positive side of things when we get into the winter, fall, to hear the year-end results.
Next up, and I got to kick it out there in a positive manner, there's been so much talked about the hotel tax, and I don't want to get into it. We could do a whole show on it. But again, I think it's important. Nobody ever lays the groundwork. Tell me, and I'll leave it open, what is the hotel tax? Because a lot of people don't understand. And the big thing, I don't want to get into where it's going and how much. I want to get into what the hotel tax is. Anybody want to field that?
Well, I'll take a quick shot at it. There's different sources of revenue. Yeah, different sources of revenue we have, okay? And sometimes those sources of revenue can only be used for certain things. So, for example, our main source of revenue is the property tax. We also get money from the state and federal government for children and youth. We can only use it for children and youth. The hotel tax is actually a tax we impose on people who stay in our hotels. It's not paid by the people who live in the community. And there's certain delineations in terms of what it can be used for. But the most important thing is that it's supposed to be used to promote tourism. And quite frankly, the state government has cut back a lot on the money that was allocated at the state level for promoting tourism. Tourism is a very broad term, although the Department of Revenue in Harrisburg has also allowed wide latitude in terms of what the use can be. I don't know if you wanted to add something.
Commissioner McKernan, you want to jump in? Or?
I think Commissioner Maravito,
he's the expert on the hotel tax.
He is.
And Rick is. I mean, Rick is well versed from his years at state representation and understands.
Okay, the goal of the Tourist Promotion Agency is to promote tourism. So they do that in a manner of which we don't necessarily see here in the community. Okay? They're advertising out in Lancaster, Maryland. So we're not going to hear those advertising. They're going out to shows and spread it around. So we're looking at the reward from them spending the money outside of our area.
Now, one of the big problems is we actually don't really know factually. In other words, at CEDACOG and at these other places, we actually look at invoices.
Absolutely.
And what we haven't looked at and what we haven't seen, and this is one of the issues that I've tried to raise, is that we need to treat the people who utilize the hotel tax in the same way we treat everyone else who uses public money, which is that there has to be checks and balances. We're the checks and balances. So while we're being told that we're doing advertising in XYZ place, we haven't seen invoices for it. And it's not so much that, I kind of believe in the old Ronald Reagan, trust but verify.
Yeah,
and that's what we hope to do.
We're going to revisit that at a later date. But the one thing I think I want to say about the hotel tax, obviously it's shrinking because of the gas industry.
It's off 40% this year.
40% this year. And it's going to be off more probably next year, unless of something drastic. You think it'll come back up? Okay, well, I hope you're right. But at the end of the day, I think the one thing, and I have it the next word, transparency. I do think any money that runs through the county coffers, there should be at the end of it where it went. And I know you feel that way. You and I have talked, and I know you feel that way. And I know Rick, you were very adamant about that. And at some point, I think we'll talk about that a little. But I think the important thing for everybody to know is that we have good folks trying to work together to make sure the county is getting their most bang out of that tourism / hotel tax / budget money that's budgeted for the promotion of our area.
Well, one of the important things, Jim, so people understand, is that in government, we do what are called RFPs, requests for proposals. Now, we actually are not necessarily obligated by law to do a request for proposal for legal services, for any services under state law. I've taken the position, and I don't think my colleagues disagree, that in order to get the best bang for our buck, we always need to do an RFP. And this isn't just something that I believe in. It's something that people who are in business know.
Yeah.
So one of the issues I've been trying to push is, and we've all been talking about this, is RFPs for legal fees, for engineering. In fact, we just had a public meeting yesterday, and one of the department heads discussed the fact that the engineering is going to be put out for an RFP. I think that with the hotel tax, we need to do the same thing. In other words, the same entity's been using it for, well, actually, there's a good question of who's the entity that's been using it. That's another conversation about that. But the point is that if we had an RFP put out, we'd be able to then get the best bang.
Absolutely. And I think I want to end that there in the hotel tax, other than I want to say the grind of county government. You all three are businessmen. And I know it frustrates you. I know it frustrates you, and I know especially it frustrates you. But because you're business owners and you act on issues and you move, and there's a whole set of parameters, rules, regulations, even with simple things like buying vehicles that annoys me, and we won't get into that. That's how we have to buy stuff outside of the county because it's the way it has to be done. And I think it's important, the hotel tax, the slow process of county government. I know you guys are doing the best job to expedite it, but everything takes a little time. And if anybody wants to throw...
Probably the biggest adjustment that I've found in the first 7 months is it is way slow. We have to talk about issues 2 and 3 times, and then maybe come back to them later to talk about it again.
Absolutely.
It is a slow process.
And Chairman McKernan is very good at methodically addressing things and much more patient than I would be. And I have to tell you, I came down here to look at some issues, and it's hard to sit when you have to go through so much paperwork, red tape. You're a businessman. Be honest about it and tell me how frustrating it is to you.
It's very frustrating. The regulations that are imposed, and sometimes by agencies that usurp the power of the elected officials. Okay?
Absolutely.
What frustrates us in business is regulation. And when you come into government, whether it's local, county, state, or federal, you're starting to hear the 3 Ps. Public-private partnerships. Okay? It's sad that we need public-private partnerships. Why? Because it costs that much money to do them, that the private sector can no longer afford it on their own.
Sure.
And that's, I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying that when you hear the 3 Ps, you better be alarmed about the cost.
Mr. Marabito, anything you want to throw in on that?
No, it's a complicated question on the issue of regulations. I mean, we, honestly, in some ways, we actually do things. If you think about what we do, as Commissioner Masser said at the beginning, for the $575 on a $100,000 home, a prison is being run every day, courts are being run, adult probation.
Let me jump in. I think our taxes in the county are more than fair. And
I don't mean the tax structure. What I'm trying to say is that although sometimes we, in the daily process of trying to do it, may get frustrated, a lot gets done that people don't recognize or they don't see. Right. There's a whole machine that's running every day, 24/7. And yeah, we have to discuss things, we have to have a public meeting, but I think we need to give ourselves, and quite frankly, the 600 employees who work for the county, more credit, because we actually do get a lot done.
Absolutely.
I think, the example with the golf course, it was a difficult situation for Commissioner Masser because he transitioned into a new set of commissioners, right?
Absolutely.
Well, the 2 new commissioners needed to weigh in on what was happening with the golf course. But once we got the golf course examined and figured out, boom, we executed on it fast. So I think that while we, in our own businesses, it's interesting, the 3 of us each own our own business, and they're small businesses in the sense that we can make decisions quickly. But I'll tell you something, if you're in a corporate environment with 40,000 employees at IBM, they are not making, or at Microsoft, they're not just changing everything overnight.
That's true.
Right? It's going through the layers of corporate bureaucracy. So I think the positive thing is that if we can keep our eye on the ball and continue to keep dialogue among the three of us, and unfortunately in Harrisburg and Washington, that's part of what's been lost. That hasn't been lost here at Lycoming County. We may not always agree. We may sometimes talk, with different opinions about it, but we still are trying to get to a common goal.
And to Commissioner Maravito's point, yeah, our county does run very well. I think maybe some of the slowness right now that I'm experiencing is, there's been claims that the newer guys are getting a little bit too far in the weeds. But we want to learn, we want to understand everything, and that might be slowing us down a little bit. So, with experience, I think speed will come.
I hate to move this along, but I got to move this along. My producer there's. Hey, let's take a quick commercial break. I have one last question. We're definitely going to come back and revisit a lot of issues. We just can't fit this into we could do a 15-day segment and not cover everything. But the one point I want to make before we go to break about taxes. The problem is with the county, and I think we're treated very fairly in the county. Nobody ever wants their taxes to go up, number one. Number two, you guys are the easiest accessible people to get at for the taxpayer, okay, that they can complain. And number three, they're getting hits on so many other levels right now currently in our nation that the last thing they want to do is have to pay more tax at home. So, right. Commercial break, we'll come right back. One last question for our commissioners.
Buy any new Mazda at the dealer invoice price and still receive our free lifetime engine and transmission warranty. That's right. All our new Mazdas are priced at dealer invoice, and some may qualify for additional rebates. Drive home in the #1 ranked compact crossover, the 2016 Mazda CX-5, priced as low as $25,100 at 0.9% for 63 months. From our family to your family, your friend, your dealer, Murray Mazda.
I'm back with one last question. Actually, I'll take two last questions. Joe from Williamsport, he sent us a question. What is it going to take to get some neighborhood crime watches started within the county?
We have neighborhood crime watches, and they're actually, the best way to connect up with them is probably to call, in the city, to call City Hall. And actually, you know what, if they wanted to call our office, we'll find out who the contact people are in different parts of the county. There are definitely neighborhood crime watches.
And Joe's concern is with the heroin problem, the amount of crime, drug related, that what is it going to take to get this going again with neighborhood crime watches?
I think we've heard discussion of it. I think, as Commissioner Maravito said, that they're out there.
I attended the six-night course on neighborhood watches. One of the frustrating parts, and it's not the law enforcement, we need to improve. Okay, the issue out there is when people call in and say they're dealing drugs, okay, we don't respond. One of the reasons why we don't respond is because they need probable cause, and you have to have credible witnesses to create probable cause, and just neighbors are not credible witnesses according to the courts.
Gotcha.
We need to change that, and we need to qualify and make our neighborhood watch groups credible witnesses.
Thank you.
There's another point that Commissioner Masser has raised often, which is that we need to disrupt the drug business. In other words, we need to make it difficult. Even if they're not credible witnesses where we get a conviction, we need to make it difficult for them to do business in Lycoming County so they move to a different county. And that may mean trying to work with our law enforcement to have them, there's nothing that prevents law enforcement folks from knocking on a door and saying that we just want to see if everyone's okay in here.
And my last question, I think I know what you're going to say, and I have to ask it, most pressing issue in Lycoming County?
There are many. Heroin is tough.
Boy, pressing. I think within the county government, from what I've seen, we've got a lot of great people and a lot of people coming down to that retirement thing, and we have to replace a lot of important folks in the next few years to help continue our government, running the way that it runs.
I think both of them are correct in terms of both the heroin and that we also, and I think they would agree with me this, we need to find ways to get jobs here in the county, because ultimately We have too many people who are either working part-time or not able to find work. But we have to, at the same time, deal with the heroin. The heroin drug problem is a new phenomenon, new in the last couple of years, and it is a serious drain on our county resources.
Absolutely.
So I think the three of us probably are on point together on those
Excellent.
things.
Well, I want to thank you for having me down. We're going to do it in the future, hit some more issues, and God bless you three individuals, and God bless Lycoming
Jim,
County.
thank you for the time you spent with us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
We're going to go to a commercial break, then we'll be back with Juliana and Webb Kids.
Buy any new Mazda at the dealer invoice price and still receive our free lifetime engine and transmission warranty. That's right. All our new Mazdas are priced at dealer invoice, and some may qualify for additional rebates. Drive home in the #1 ranked compact crossover, the 2016 Mazda CX-5, priced as low as $25,100 at 0.9% for 63 months. From our family to your family, your friend, your dealer, Murray Mazda.
Hello everybody, I'm at the Community Theater League Kids Program, and we just finished our show, Not So Grip Tales, and I was Little Red Riding Hood in the show. And now I'm going to ask two of my cast members some questions about the show. So first of all, how did you guys think we did in the show?
I think we did pretty good. I think we did good, except for I accidentally dabbed.
Like, what scene were you in when you...
The Cinderella scene.
Who were you guys in the play?
I was the stepmother. I was the wolf, worker one, and one of the stepsisters.
Did you like your parts?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Do you guys have like a favorite line from your characters?
I liked when I was yelling at them when I said, "How could you have screwed this up? How?"
Do you have one? I liked when I said, "You're killing me here." Did you like your characters?
Yes, I did.
What is your favorite part of the whole theater camp?
I like when we did costumes, getting our parts and all that.
I just liked when we had the tension, what is our parts? Tell us. I don't think it was like that, but okay.
It was to me.
Do you have a favorite scene?
I liked all of them.
I like Cinderella the most. Yeah, I'm going towards Cinderella as well. I'm Juliana with Lily and Lucy, and I'll see you next week on Webb Kids.
What a great job by Juliana in the Webb Kids segment. Great to be downtown today. Jackie Engel does a great job organizing the Community Theater League, the summer theater camp. So many smiling faces down there. I went down and watched today. The Not So Grim Tales was hilarious, and watching Juliana be a takeoff on Little Red Riding Hood. So great stuff, good stuff. If your kids have an interest in theater or anything like that, contact the good folks down at the Community Theater League. And as always, be safe out there, and God bless America.